Hey everybody, what's going on out there? Mickey Russo here, coming at you
Woo!
live from my home office in Danville, Indiana. That's my wife. She's being silly. She just got home from work. Anyways, uh, I wanted to share with you guys. This is actually video number 2 in my series I'm doing on how to build trust and rapport with people. You'll notice in the first video I spoke about the 3 different forms of communication: physiologically, tonality, and verbally. If you watch that video, you'll be able to see what I did on those 3 things. But in this video, I'm going to expound a little bit more on the last form of communication, which is verbally. People experience with their world around them through their senses, okay? And people have a primary sense of perception that they use. So what I mean by that is some people are more auditory, which means that they experience their world and interpret things auditorily through their ears, through hearing. Some people's primary sense of perception of their world around them is visually. They download information or whatever you will, through their eyes and through seeing things. And the last thing is kinesthetically. People use their sense of touch to be able to interpret and perceive the world around them. So when building rapport and trust with people, you need to understand and acknowledge which form of sense that is their primary form of what they perceive the world. So how do you do this? You do this by their language. So for instance, if I'm talking to somebody and their primary source of, or their primary sense of perception is auditory through hearing, well, you can pick up on that through the language that they're using. For instance, if they say things like, "Oh, did you hear that?" Or if you're telling them something and you're like, "Oh yeah, that sounds good," or "Oh yeah, I like the way that sounds," or if they're using language of what that would imply that they're using their sense of hearing, then that would tell you that that person is, their primary sense is auditory. So when you speak back to them and building rapport and trust with people, you want to use language that they can connect with. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yes.
So with visualization, people, you'll notice how can you pick up and notice if that person's primary sense of perception is visualization? By the language that they use. So for instance, if a person is saying things like, "I like the way that I like the way that looks," or "Ooh, yeah, I can picture that," or "Yeah, yeah, I see. Oh, yeah, I see." They're using that type of language, and you know that their primary sense of perception is visualization. So when you're speaking with them and you're building that rapport and that trust with that person, you want to make sure you use language that is aligned with their primary sense of perception, which is visualization. Now, if you're talking to a kinesthetic person, you do the exact same thing. You just try to notice and pick up on the language that they're using that would indicate that they're a kinesthetic primary sense perceptive individual. So you do this by the language that they use. So let's say a kinesthetic person saying, "Oh, I don't know about that. I don't like the way that feels. That doesn't feel right." You know what I mean? Or, language like that would imply that their primary sense of perception is kinesthetic. Then when you speak and you're trying to build that trust and rapport with that person, you want to use language that connects and aligns with their primary sense of perception. Okay? So if you combine this information with the information I provided for you in video number 1, then you're well on your way to creating the trust and rapport with just about any person that you desire. Again, I wanted to mention that I work with a company called the Empower Network, and there's some sales involved. I don't want to talk to you anything about that, but what's cool is that you can use these strategies to help promote any business, and I highly encourage you that if you don't have any type of online or internet exposure or presence, to click the link below this video. Once you click that link, it'll actually take you to an opt-in page where you can put your email information in, which will then take you to a sales page that the company takes care of. I don't even have to do the selling, which is amazing because I don't like to sell. I just like to provide value. But if you actually go through that process and get to the sales video, what's cool is you'll actually see a lot of what I taught you in this video, in the first video, what those leaders are doing. And they say, birds of a feather flock together, or if you want to accomplish a similar goal, you want to model people and you want to do what they're doing. So, that's why I'm learning what I'm learning and doing what I'm doing, is so that I obviously can have and get to where I want to in life. So I hope that you took some value away from this. Again, click the link below this video and check some of the stuff out. I put a link to my blog as well. And I hope that you got some value from this, and I hope you took something away from this. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you, and God bless.